Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Programming with a Purpose. Today I am bringing you another interesting app. So basically there is a pandemic of focus problems in today's world. We have a lot of distractions like social apps to other problems like stress, lack of mental clarity along with mental and physical health issues that has caused a lot of attention problems and concentration issues. So we can use a lot of research techniques to improve and shift our focus to our work or tasks that are at hand that needs our attention. One of it is a Pomodoro technique. It is based on the theory that basically we can create cycles of work, focus and breaks, such as 20-minute cycles of work followed by a 5 minutes break, and that constitutes a single session. And we can have a total of 4 sessions followed by a long break like 30 minutes, and then we can start again with these sessions. So here I am going to show you how to create a simple timer app around this technique, and you can build it too for yourself, for your personal purposes, or you can revamp the UI, add some further features and upload it to App Store to help a community. So let's see how to build this app. So first we are going to add a file with the name of settings, and we are going to create models in it. So the first is a struct with the name of timings. So it has 3 variables: total time in minutes, hours and seconds. Minute and hours will be passed by another class, and we are going to calculate the total time in seconds, and it will be used basically in all of our calculations in the main content view. Next, we are going to create a class with the name of settings. It has 3 variables. One is the total number of sessions. You can set it to any value you want. I've set it to 4. Then there will be a variable of focus and break. Since break is a reserve word, so I've added a T to it. So make it as a name of the variable. So we have 2 variables with the type timings. And then we are going to initialize them inside the init method. Focus is basically a timings of 25 minutes and 0 hours. Break T is basically another variable of timings with 5 minutes and 0 hours. And then I have set the total sessions to 4 in the init method. So let's move to our content view where we'll be writing some helper functions. So I am writing here the format time for display function, but we will be using some of the variables from basically our struct content view. So I am going to write all of the variables that are being used in this content view. So there is remaining time, that will be time remaining for a certain timer. Is timer running? A timer variable, progress, which is basically the number of minutes that are left. Then there is a time string that is shown in the center of the circle. Then there are sessions, so 1 session, 2, 3, it can go up to 4. And if it is a focus session or a break session, another variable is basically going to show it. And if the timer is in play mode or a paused mode, another bool variable will be used for that. And then there is a variable settings that is basically an object of our settings class. So these are all the variables used inside the content view. So let's move to our content view. We are going to create a function that is going to format the time that is remaining according to our settings. So what it is going to do is basically it is going to convert all of the time we have to hours and minutes and seconds, and then it is going to display it on the screen. So time is the variable that is basically populated. If there are hours, that will be appended to the string. Otherwise, if the hours are 0, then we are going to just display the minutes and the seconds remaining. So next we are going to create a function that will handle the next button tabbed. So if we are in a focus session, it will shift us to a break session. And if it's a break session, it will move on to the focus session. So it will just toggle our focus session to move on to the next type of session. And if it's a focus session, it is going to get the remaining time from the focus variable inside settings. Otherwise, it is going to get it from the break t variable. And if the number of sessions have reached to the total number of sessions that we have set inside settings, it is going to reset it to 0, and then it will be incremented in the next line and reset to 1. Next, we are going to handle the tapping of the reset button. So I have copied some of the lines from the next button tapped function, which will basically be resetting the timer and formatting the timer. After that, I have done basically, I've set the session to 1 and set the remaining time to the focus time, and then formatted the time for display, and is focus session is set to true because we will be moved first to the focus session inside a Pomodoro technique. Next, we are going to write a function with the name of play button tapped, which is going to handle the tapping of the play button. So if the timer is not paused, it is in the playing mode, we are going to set certain variables, and then we are going to schedule a timer with 1 second. If the remaining time is greater than 0, it is going to decrement it with each second. And if it is a focus session, then it is going to get the value of the total number of seconds from the focus variable of timings and calculate the progress from there. Otherwise, it is going to get the value from the break t variable, and then it is going to format the time for display. And if it is set to basically remaining time is 0, then it is going to reset the timer. And if it is in a pause state, then we are going to basically make the is timer running variable to false. Timer is going to be invalidated and set to nil, but all of the rest of the values will not be changed because we can again press the play button and start the timer. And when we are going to click this button, the is timer pause variable will going to be toggled, because when we are going to click it first, it is going to move to the pause state, and again pressing it will turn it into a play state. So let's move to the actual view. So I have made the canvas visible in this case, and we have created a VStack. On the top, we are going to set a title that is basically with the text stay focused. Font is basically of the type dot title. It is set to bold, and some padding is added to it because we want some distance between our circle of progress and our title. Then a Z stack is created. It will contain two circles and another text. We have basically created Z stack for the text to be shown on the top of these circles. So the first circle will be of the color gray and a line width 30. The next will be of the color blue with line width 30, and the width and height is set to basically make it a bit more presentable. And then we are going to add a text to it, which will basically contain two variables. First is the time variable that will display the remaining time. Another variable that is basically the session that will show us that we are in the focus part of the cycle or the break part of the cycle. So the next will be an H stack that will be a part of V stack. It will contain three buttons. One is basically for the resetting of timer, another one is basically for the playing or pausing of the timer, and third one is basically the next part of the timer, which will either move us to the next part of the cycle, like focus to break, break to focus, or to the next session, which will be basically from 1 to 2. And basically if we look at the UI, one of the button, the central button, will be a bit greater, so we have set it frame width and height to 70, and we are going to make it a bit lower. So I have set some of the padding on the top of it, and after that we are going to add another variable value inside the UI in the V stack, which will basically display us the session number that we are playing with the focus break cycle. So here our view is completed. So here you can see that I have pressed the play button and the timer is decreasing and the graph is being updated according to the progress of the remaining time. But there is an issue that the timer is decrementing from a wrong side. So I have set a rotation variable on the second circle. So add that effect here. So now the graph is basically decreasing from the proper point that we have set according to the rotation effect. You can see that the reset button is working and also the next timer button is also working properly. So all of the buttons are properly set. There is another issue. You can see that once I have set it to pause state, the button state does not go back to the play state when we press the next button or the reset button. So I'm going to fix it now. So I hope you have enjoyed building this app with me. If you like this video, do not forget to share it with your friends and community and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for tuning in.